Hey guys, today I'd like to talk to you, yes, on the Authentic Mission channel, but about something a little bit more personal when it comes to me. Now, I'm looking into something and I'm not exactly willing to quit just yet, but I wanted to say this, in case it's too late for me, but it's not too late for someone else. Now, look, I'm disabled. I'm in a wheelchair and I have a learning disability. And I did not realize up until earlier this year that I did not realize enough about human rights to consider my options at the time. But when I was in high school, back in 2005 I ended, 2004 maybe, I'm not sure. My high school experience had its fun moments, definitely, but it also had its worst moments. And unfortunately, a lot of the worst moments came from the faculty of the school and the teachers' assistants, the teachers, and just their overall attitude with people in wheelchairs. And I've called the Human Rights Tribunal. I've called the Human Rights Legal Support Center in Canada. And I guess I'm making this video, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm making it for two different reasons. One, I'm making the video for the fact that if any lawyer happens to hear this or anything like that, hey, reach out to me. And I'll explain why. And I'm also making this video for someone else that's been through this type of experience. Now, what was that experience exactly? Look, all my life, I've wanted to be, and I've kind of mentioned this before, I've wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to write stories like Stephen King. I just want to move people. I want to get emotional reactions from stories that are told. I want to grow as an artist, and I just want to tell stories. And that's been for a long time, as far back as I can remember. But unfortunately, the school that I went to, a school that's supposed to encourage you and have, I went to a Catholic school. So essentially, it's supposed to be a school of faith and encouragement. And you know what? Being that I had a learning disability and I had physical challenges, it wasn't really the faculty themselves, except for a few good teachers, and guys, you know who you are. It wasn't that good. I mean, I told the guidance counselor I want to be a filmmaker, I want to grow as an artist, and she's like, well, are you sure that's possible with your challenges in English and da-da-da-da-da? And they know about different programs, they know about Dragon Dictate, they know about Dragon Dictate, they know about different tools that people in wheelchairs can use. And they didn't really care. Or if they did care, they didn't really show it. Like, I mean, they were telling me, that they told my mom, well, we can't really encourage him to be a filmmaker because, it's important that these children keep their goals realistic. And my mom's like, okay, he's got challenges, but why don't you guys give him the tools to work on that? Like, say to him, okay, this might require a little bit of extra work, but if you're serious, let's put a plan together. We're supposed to have individual lesson plans, and it was just the industry standard as far as I'm concerned. And I want to hold this school accountable. And I've called the Human Rights Tribunal, I've called the Human Rights Legal Support Center, and they're saying to me, because it's been past a year, actually in my case, way past a year, that you've been in high school, you can't really go and sue them, or you can't really go and hold them accountable. And on some part, I get it, but another part of me wants to say, well, I didn't know about my rights at the time. And I talked to a lot of single mothers or just parents in general over the years, like on the bus or whatever, and they say, oh yeah, I've gone through the same thing. My child, like, I've never met these people outside of the buses or whatever, but they would say things like, oh yeah, my kid's going through the same thing, and I know the challenges he faces, and I know that I think I know what's wrong, and I can't even get him assessed. And it's ridiculous. I mean, some mothers, I'm sure, are wrong. Nobody's perfect. But generally, a mother or a parent or a single father knows their child. And I kind of hate that there's a statute of limitations on human rights, because I quit my dream for a lot of years, and I've again mentioned that on this channel before. I just, I a small town in Canada, and it's, you kind of like, the artistic level isn't there or wasn't there at the time, and you're just kind of like, man, maybe they're right. I'm too stupid. I've tried to get a job. I can't get a job. You go to try and get a job, and I'm not even talking in the field I want to be in, but I try to go get a job, for instance, answering phones, telemarketing or whatever, and you can't even get that. It's ridiculous, man. I can't. You get told as you go to get these jobs, and I'll make another video about jobs later, but you get told as you go to get these jobs, maybe you should go volunteer a little bit, and then you go volunteer, and they say, oh, you should go back to school, and you go back to school, and you feel stupid when you step into school, and you feel like, I've got a long way to go, I don't have the emotional energy. I've mentioned all this before. And it just, like, to tell me there's a statute of limitations on the way the school treated me, granted, I wasn't physically abused or anything like that, but I was definitely emotionally abused. Like, you don't tell a kid who wants to be an artist or anything that they can't do it. I mean, again, you need to tell them, okay, it might be challenging, but if you're serious, let's develop a lesson plan to help you figure this out. And I was speaking to a human rights tribunal person, and she told me point blank, we hear a lot of this in the North, and you were definitely discriminated against for your disability and your learning disability, period. But because you've been way past the year of you graduating high school, sorry, they can continue to do this to other people. I know they are. And I'm not just talking the school I went to. I know a lot of it's happening. I know it. I feel it. People will not change. And the problem is, too many places are too worried about getting sued. I mean, like, where I live, you're not allowed to go down a hill tobogganing anymore because, the city might get sued. And the school, I guess they're thinking, well, if we encourage him way too much and he fails, then we're going to get sued for encouraging him way too much. That's bullshit. Plain and simple. Okay? Like, again, it can't just be, yes, you can do it. It's got to be, yes, you can do it if you put the work into it, instead of putting them down. And to top it off, the school that I went to, and again, I'm bringing this up because I know on some level, some way, maybe a little bit tweaking in between, I know it's happening to other people. The teacher's assistant where I went to school my last year was being a real bitch. Plain and simple. Okay? And there's no other way to say it. And my mom told her, leave my son alone. You do your job, he'll do his job. He's got one more year. And their way of dealing with that after my mom put her foot down was to take me out of my grade 12 special education class and put me in with the grade 9 and 10 education class. Now, I got nothing against those guys, except for some of them were so immature it was ridiculous. But I get it. They all had learning disabilities and they wanted to fit in, and, you know, some of them, again, were just plain simple buttheads. Alright? But that was so hurtful and so discouraging. And my mom tried calling our ombudsman and tried doing this and they were just like, no, the school can do that. You know what? I'm telling any parent that's listening to this video right now, or anybody that's been picked on in school by the administration, which is pathetic, we cannot just accept, you know what, no. There's nothing that you can do. They had the right to do that. We cannot just accept the school diminishing people. I remember one time in grade 12, maybe it was 11. We were doing a budget. Okay, we were told to do this budget and this life workbook. Okay, fair. Good intentions, blah, blah, blah. But we were told, well, no, you have to buy, we were told to make a grocery list. Somebody in my class made that list. Okay, wrote down steak, T-bone steak once a month. Wrote down bag of potatoes. And this stupid, ignorant, stuck-up teacher's assistant said to my friend and us as a whole, well, what are you kidding? You're not going to be able to get a T-bone steak. You're going to be living on welfare or disability for the rest of your life. You guys have to be realistic about your budget. What kind of bullshit encouragement is that? And I'm telling any parent or person that's being picked on, if you're stumbling along this video, which I don't know, if you are, but we need to hold the schools accountable. We need to say, you cannot diminish my dreams. Help me make them realistic. Okay? I'll give you an example, and I mentioned this on one of my other videos before. Even famous producers and artists have heard this before too. Oh, Mac Rainey very famously said in a documentary called My Wasted Life that teachers were like, oh, you're wasting your time with all that. You're not going to amount to anything watching all this TV. Hello? 30 years of a famous show. Are you kidding me? I'd be like calling that school if I was him and going, by the way, I'd like an apology, you assholes. You know what I mean? And if your child is being put down by a teacher, and if you're a teacher putting down a child for their dreams, or a high school student, get the fuck out of the field. Plain and simple. And I'm telling anybody that's going through this right now, if you're going through it, and you want to know if your human rights are being violated, find your local human rights support center or whatever it's called, whether you're in the States or in Canada, and ask them, because a person cannot, at least in Canada, be discriminated against. Like, I'm not gonna try and say American, but I think it's the same. I really do. maybe worded different, but a person cannot be discriminated against for their disability, for their religious practices, for their sexuality, for their like their if I didn't say it because I kind of lost track, for their disability. And I'm telling you right now, if we all band together in some sort of way, my way might be just doing this video here. I'm telling you, if we put our foot down and start suing the school boards and the stuck-up assholes, a lot more people will feel more encouraged than being put down and being told maybe that they're a bad kid or that they're not going to amount to anything. And if you're honestly trying to be like, well, I'm trying to be a realist, maybe you are, but there might be a way, there is a better way to say it than the bullshit way you're doing it right now. So do your research into your human rights, and honestly, I'm not going to quit yet on the school thing, but I honestly, I'm not going to spend 5 years of my life fighting it because maybe it is too late for me. But if you get out of high school, this is what the woman from the Ontario Legal Rights Support Center said, or no, not the Ontario one, the Canadian one, period. This is what she said. The best way and the best time, if you're out of high school, to sue the school or to bring them to human rights court or tribunal or whatever it's called, is to do it from the year you graduate or maybe the year after. Do not wait like I did. I didn't know. Do not wait. It might be too late for me, but it's not too late for you.